my God.
Hardest decision.
That's a hard question.
Hardest decision I've ever made in my life.
Sabi ni Saya pa, unsa ang
Pinakalisod na
Pinakalisod
desisyon nga imong nabuhat so far. And
nga
ano?
desisyon nga akong nabuhat.
Kanang mangweb ka sa babae nga wala mangweb ka tapos dili ka sugton.
When my mother was in the hospital, it was way back in August 2020, and we had to make the decision because she was 3 weeks in ICU. So we had to make the decision wherein we had to sign a NDR, do not resuscitate. It was a family decision with my brothers and sisters. So I think that was one of the hardest decision in my life. We were seeing that our mother was like suffering. It was like one of the hardest decision in my life. So
the time nga nakipagbulag ko sa akong husband. Because half of my life, siya rin should ako ang boyfriend ever. Then, murag nagtuyo akong kinabuhi sa iya ha. Murag, kuan man good siya ka nang, murag nag-depend ko sa iya ba. So, mutong, pag let go na ko sa, pagbulag na mo is, murag, feel na ko kay mamatay na ko or murag nawala akong kinabuhi. Murag, sa almost a year, murag, wala ko'y life, murag nabuhi lang ko nga, murag, wala lang, ano na siya, murag, moto siya.
If I may ask, ma'am, was that decision worth it?
Yes! As in, good. I am so happy now, living my life, and then with my son. 1 year or more than a year, pero worth it siya. After that, pag-overcome na ko sa ang sadness and loneliness at that time, pero ako, okay lang. At least, give up jud ko and then, let go yun ako ang pain.
Kana bitong mo decide ka nga gusto ka mo layo sa mga taong imong gimahal. Kay usahay kung kinsa pa imong gimahal mo pero say makapasakit sa imong mga kay. Usahay bitaw sa kuan ka nang pero kay gimahal nimo sila kayo, ga-expect ko ka kuan nga balusan po ka pero usahay kinahanglan kag space para pod nga siguro makita para pod ma-feel nila kung unsa imong worth kung wala ka tapos ikaduha time pod na nga mag self-care ka ana ba ang usahay lang gid kanang nalanggit tay mga usahay mga frustrations in life pero maka-recover man gyapon by the time nga mag-heal na.
The hardest was decision. Taking the risk of accepting things that you cannot control. The universe, like for example, the universe that surrounds you, that you cannot control everything. Because you cannot see everything, you cannot touch everything, and you cannot get hold of everything. So that was the hardest part that I have taken risk in my decision. You have to go on with your life. That's it.
Not taking care of myself in a period of time. Because of that, parang nag-transition siya na because I had a hard time changing my like from bad habits to good habits. The transition from that area is really hard because for example, smoking. Like I keep smoking and then I want to change to I don't want to be a smoker anymore. So the transition, during that transition, that was really the hardest part because you get to have some setbacks, some what do you call that? Yeah, the resistance, like the temptation and everything. You think that you can do it, but then the temptation overcomes or kanang nag-overcame gyud siya na marag napildi ka ba, then you go start to zero. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's the hardest part, the transition from bad habits to good habits.
The hardest decision I did is like when I gave up my work in Bangkok as a teacher, and I decided to settle down with my family the money that I earn from abroad is huge different when what I earn here in the Philippines. Yeah, I think because like the life here in the Philippines is much better than there, because like the reason why I give up my job, though I earn a lot of money, but the work is so stressful, and I think I will end up my life like before my 50 years old. So I decided to make this decision to stay here in the Philippines and to stay with my family. Life here is simple, and life here is more fun. Life here is like more closer to God. Like when you work abroad, you always think about money. You always think about what you want in your life, like material things in this world. But here in the Philippines, your spiritual growth will be you will be more closer to God. Literally, you are very close to your family in times like when they need you, in times of many things that will happen, like let's say for example worst thing catastrophe, you are always here in your family, and the stress that you handle outside from the country is much different.
Hardest decision, probably switching careers.
Why was it so hard, sir?
It's later in life, so when you've had everything established and then you have to change careers. So sometimes it's really hard. That there's a lot of things to consider compared to when you need to change something and you're young and you're single. You don't want to have a family. You don't have mortgage. You don't have a lot of people depending on you. It's way different. When it's later in life, it's hard. I mean, it's more like what happened with the pandemic and everything, and everybody has to adapt and has to make changes, like major ones. But yeah, it was worth it. It worked, so it was okay.
Availing for a long-term loan kay it means for life, almost for life. Lisod mi ang nag-decide karon kay we're not getting any younger. And long-term man, so dapat i-prepare po na mo ang retirement years. It's hard because it means your retirement life, manggod. So that's it.
Well, deciding to avail long-term loans, long-term debts, long-term in the sense na taas siya. Hindi siya pwede mo the following day mo yun ka nga di na pwede yun because you have to sign contract.
Pinakalisod nga desisyon nga akong nabuhat. Kung napili ko pag-eskwela pa sa sa banda or sa pag-eskwela. Pili na ko ang band, pero later on na-realize na ko nga mas importante pag-eskwela.
To stay here sa Philippines or mag-abroad, mo to siya ang pinakalisod, pero I think ko na to stay here, mas happy ko dire.
Ang murag lisod nga desisyon nga akong nabuhat para sa ako siguro sa pagminyo, pagminyo nako tungod kay tong sa akong panahon manggod kuan kana wa ko'y trabaho ana ba unya akong edad taas na nga akong edad di lang na ako isulti pilay akong edad taas na akong edad unya wa pa ko'y insaktong trabaho unya nakoy uyab niya siyempre akong hunang-huna nga basig mapula na nga akong uyab ba sa ako ana so hantod nga maintain lang gyapon among relationship ana hantod nga nakatrabaho ko unya hantod nga nakatrabaho ko di pa gyud ko ka decide kung magminyo ba ko o dili kay crisis man lagi unya kung nauna ko kaya baka nako ang pag support sa usa ka pamilya antod nga sa kadugayan dani naman gid siguro ang kinabuhi kung dili mamatay maminyo antod nga naka-decide ko nga magminyo nako akong partner matured na sad siya o diya sad sa among pagminyo nga nagkasinabot mi ana understanding maayo among pagpuyo bisan og naay mga problema nagya po yung mga kalipay nana
Kung lang, parte lang sa COVID, mora. Nga na, ang kalisod, ang pagkaon, ang sigitaghugas. Di ba? Ano sige man taghugas. Hugaw di atong kamot permit, di man. Di ba? Sige naman tapanglaba, sige naman tagkaligo. Anong sige man taghugas, hugas unya, dili mong gawas. Unsay atong kanon? Kung dili ta mong gawas, unsay atong kanon? Patay atong pamilya, di ba? So, dapat atong government tagaan nilaging sakto o ayuda ang isig ka tao. Dili nila taguan ang support sa tao. Thank you.
Ang hardest decision is kanang sacrifice sa isa ka person nga dili man ay magkamusalas.
Para sa kuha ka tong niundang og eskwela kay siyempre gisayangan akong panahon bitaw. Imbis dapat karon graduate na unta ko niya. Niundang man ko so may gani karon gitagan kog chance nga maka-eskwela pa. Naay nagpa-eskwela sa kuha. Nag-sponsor sa kuha. Kay financially kuan yun kanang lisod. Nya karon na may nagtabang sa kuha so take opportunity na ko ang chance.
Hardest? Daghan actually, daghan. Pero ang pinaka lisod good nga decision katong nag-move back me diri sa Pinas kay sa Thailand mo good may niya. Hard siya kay daghan mig mga hesitations kay syempre pagbalik diri magsugod na pod mi nya mga bata unsa pa damong life diri muna pinaka-hard para sa so far ay sa lately present
Mawala na kahuman og eskwela. Ako lilisod man gud mangitag trabaho karon nga wa ka naka-graduate og college. High school graduate. Lisod kaayo.
Pag-improve og pag-asensyo. Labi na karon nga panahon medyo nagkalisod na ba. Di ba mahal ang gasolina. Tapos medyo nagkahirap-hirap na ang mga tao.
Kanang kuan sir. Nakabuhat og sala sa akong isikataw. Lisod mo gud makabuhat ta og sala sa atong isikataw sir kay mo nay mahimo kuan away sa kuan sa usa.
Nakapasok ako sa medyo masamang barkada, parang ganun. Kasi parang muntik na akong talagang bumagsak na. Parang papunta na ako sa magiging, parang nakikita natin sa kalsada na naging pulubi, parang ganyan. Kaya lang medyo may umano din sa akin. Kaya naging forma na ako ngayon sa construction. Ito po yung project.
I could not really recall because I am now retired and I keep my mind clear from everything. So I didn't want to to bother myself to go back to my previous work, previous decisions, something like that.
Naglayo ko sa akong pamilya. Isod kay wala ko naanad ba na maglayo sa ila. Worth it man gyapon sir, bisag layo. Tapos maka-realize ka na naglain bitaw ka. Then makabuild kasi makagol yung decision mo na ikaw lang isa.
Hardest decision. Wala mong ko yung mga una-una as if karon kay since bata pa man ko so wala pa ko sa stage nga niabot ko sa point nga kailangan ko mupili og kanang decision nga lisod kay as akong 19 years mangud karon is like neutral lang ko ba like either of the two maka-decide gid ko but for now wala gyud ko hardest decision.
Basig tagaan ko grasya sa Ginoo mabilionaryo ko unsaon ako na pag-manage magisod ko pero sa akong pamilya wala ko'y kabalakan dili ko lisdan
between schools and career mas need man nimo nimong career mas need pa nimo ang studies so pero gi-give up nimo ang studies para sa imong career kay para maka-provide ka sa imong needs sa imong self o sa family.
If I may ask, ma'am, worth it pa to siyang decision?
I don't know. Oo, kay ano man na nakita man sa akong family na natabangan ako sila.
Ang kuan, biyaan ng trabaho. Isod kay wala natin pangita.
Kanang every time I make it's not just one thing pero in a whole as a mother. When I make a decision for my children, when I make a decision how I will deal with the culture, the tradition, the other people and myself about dealing with my children and as they grow up. So I guess that's it.
Getting into marriage mo siguro.
hardest siya kay you will not know what will happen, and then you will also sacrifice the things that you're used to. So it will not be the same when you will be on a married life. It will be very interesting because those things that will happen are things that you won't expect, like having a family, you'll be having a children later on, having big responsibilities, and that's something that was very difficult. But when you're in a direction where you're getting old, you have to make that choice and decide to be married. It's worth it. That is something that is beautiful, and you'll be looking forward for more interesting things that will happen in the future.